So given the season that it is summer 2019 and I'm in Canada, I've been getting a lot of questions about people moving over here. So I decided to make a video on the most random tips for anyone that is moving over to Canada and Vancouver especially this summer. So over the past number of months since I arrived here in September, I've obviously learned a few kind of different things that I feel are going to be pretty useful and golden knowledge to any kind of person that's coming over here this summer. So I know that most people will always give this point when you're talking about moving abroad or moving anywhere. But the first point I will always say is to really take advantage of the strength of the euro. This is if you're coming from Europe, of course, especially Ireland. You can get a lot more for your savings in Ireland than you can here. So what I would suggest is that you work your ass off before you leave. A euro will get you $1.60 over here. So it is definitely worthwhile to work your ass off while you are at home and then hit that savings before you leave. Like the cool blue light. So the first thing I will say is if you're coming over to Canada, come over here with no less than 3,000 euro in savings. That will equate to a lot more in Canadian dollar, and it will be definitely something that's needed. It doesn't matter how long you're coming over for, whether you're coming over for 3 months or a year, the initial setup cost is what actually adds up. So I would advise that you bring over that amount of savings, which will basically cover you for, sorry about the noise, for when you're not working and you have to get set up with an apartment, for food, for initial expenses on arrival. So let's say that takes 3 weeks, then you've obviously a couple of months of working, but you will definitely need the savings. So save as much as you can and bring at least 3,000 euro. So next up is obviously the main difficulty for everyone, and it is just getting accommodation in general in Vancouver. Definitely a tough part. Most places will require you to have sign a 1-year lease, which is difficult if you're only here for a summer. But what I would advise is getting onto the Irish and the New in Vancouver or your local kind of expats page and basically posting saying that you're looking for accommodation. Now what I would advise is don't post saying that you and 7 mates are looking for accommodation, because no one wants to house 7 mates. They just know their apartment is a complete write-off at that point. So what I would suggest is you and 2 other mates or you and 1 other mate are looking for accommodation. Post it that way, keep your group small, and try get into somewhere first. If you're gonna just come over here and basically set up when you get here, try use your friends that are already established here, reach out to them and see can you crash on their couch for a couple of days while you find your accommodation. Definitely the safer option, definitely the cheapest option, and it avoids you having to either get scammed, pay for Airbnbs or pay for hotels. Okay, so now that that's all done, you've booked your flights, you've got over here, you've arrived. Congratulations, you've made it to a great place. You're gonna have a lot of fun, but let's talk about living. So living over here is extremely expensive. I've said that on numerous videos. I am just assuming that everyone here is on a budget, okay? Most of us do not have wealthy parents who are going to pay for everything. So with that assumption, let's talk about cost. What you want to try to do is avoid eating out at all until it's happy hour. So happy hour is a massive thing in Canada, and it's basically when the restaurant basically lowers its prices for an hour on, and those prices are on beer and those prices are on food. Grocery shopping can be expensive, but it's definitely a quarter of the price of eating out. So if it's not happy hour, which is usually between 3 and 6, try it at home. If you want to be super healthy, I recommend doing Fresh Prep, which is the meal preparation company. I've been using them since I came over and it's absolutely perfect. But other than that, just like get to the shops, buy your eggs, your tuna and stuff like that, and just save yourself a whole bunch. And then, you know, maybe try eat out once a week. But if you do not use happy hour, things are going to get seriously expensive in the long run. On the topic of going out and getting your alcohol, I suggest 2 different drinks. If you're a lager drinker, I recommend that you get Red Truck Lager. It's probably one of the cheapest, but it's also the one I've found is the most nice, so definitely recommend that stuff. I'm a big fan. If I'm not, they have these drinks called nudes. The nudes are a mixture of vodka and soda water, so they're like a low calorie health beverage. It is also worth mentioning that they sell 5-liter bottles of, or 5-liter boxes of wine for like $30, which is definitely very, very worth it. We just keep ourselves stocked up with a 5-liter box of wine at all times. So now that we've discussed accommodation, obviously now that you're set up, you got to pay for that stuff. So you need to get a job. Now, jobs are pretty easy to get, you'll be happy to know. Very easy to get actually, depending on if you're being too picky. Now, if you're going to come over here and be a doctor without a degree, that might be hard. But if you're looking to do some construction work, then it's absolutely perfect. Is when you come over here, take the first job you can get, because then all of a sudden you're earning money. You know, you can look for your ideal job while you earn money in a job. So for guys and girls, so labor jobs are like plentiful. There's like jobs holding a flag, directing traffic for construction, and there's demolition, there's just carpentry, there's just so many labor jobs out here, and they usually pay between $18 and $22 an hour. So pick one of those up, you'll do it pretty quick. If you don't want to labor, if you don't want to do that grind, you could go into the service industry. If you have bar work, you'll get straight in, especially if you're Irish. And if you have done waitressing or waitering, you'll get straight in as well. So one thing I would recommend though is, if you do get a job, is don't tell them you're only here for the summer. Make sure you tell them that you're here for the long term. You're here for your 2-year work visa, which is a little ratty, I know, but they're probably not going to hire you if they know you're only here for 2.5 or 3 months. Maybe they will, but you're better off playing it safe, right? So now that you've left home, you've flown over, you've found your accommodation, you've found your job, it's so tempting to just stick in your groups and go to different events and activities together. But what I would say is this: there's such a vast community of people around here. You should definitely get involved and like make a lot of friends. Like, don't just stick to your groups from home, because that's what groups at home are for. They're for being together. So I would definitely say just like get involved, go to local events, and just like embrace the weirdness of Vancouver in general. It is an extremely weird place. There's a lot of quirky personalities, and it'll really open your eyes. Oops, my hand's getting so dead. It will really open your eyes to go meet some of those people. Okay, I'm tired of walking. Touching off that last point, I've made so many more friends over here by just kind of going to different events and just networking in general. You will meet a lot of people through work, which definitely helps. But if you don't meet people through work, there's so many events. The main pub to go to that I recommend to meet people as well is called Donnellan's. So hit up Donnellan's if you're feeling lonely. You will definitely make some friends there. But that's pretty much it. The events I recommend that you go to are things like the outdoor cinema, there's outdoor swimming pools, there's a couple of them, there's drum circles, there's a nudie beach, which I went to last week, and that was absolutely hilarious. You don't have to be nude, by the way, but you can go to the nudie beach. There is so much to do out here, so if you have made the choice to come out here this summer, you're definitely not going to regret it. Summer to me, like, I've been here all winter. Now that it's going into summer, I feel like I'm coming into holidays now, so it's going to be an amazing experience, and I look forward to seeing any of my subscribers that are watching this out in Vancouver this summer, because it's a small place. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I hope you got something out of those tips. They are just the most random tips that came to mind, but stuff that I would have liked to know when I arrived here. So hopefully you found them useful. I'll have another video real soon, no doubt. But for now, cheers for watching, like and subscribe, and see you all again real soon. Peace.